Hey everyone, how's it going? This is George, and I'm coming with you with another YouTube tutorial to talk to you very quickly about two new processes that I've recently found online to post to Facebook groups very quickly. Okay. Now, before I begin, I will say that they both have their positives as well as their negative attributes. So please feel free to watch the entire video to find out everything you need to know about both programs or both methods, I should say, and then to determine which ones you would like to do. Now, the title of this has part two in it. That's because there is another YouTube tutorial video that I came out with months ago to talk about how to post to Facebook groups quickly and easily using a feature that I've been using for quite some time now. And that will have a link down in the description on this video on youtube.com in case you'd like to go to that one and see the third way that there is, okay? Now, to get started, the first one is going to require a piece of software called Macro Recorder. It is by a company called Jitbit.com. Okay, now this program, I'm not exactly sure on the length of the free trial, but I do know it's over 30 days. I believe it's about a 40 day or a 45-day free trial, a macro recorder. After that, you would have to pay a one-time fee. Give me just a moment. A one-time fee of $39 for the basic, which would give you free upgrades for a year, as well as the advanced macro recorder. And then you can do pro or premium, and you can see right here the different things that you can get for whichever one you chose. Now, of course, unless you're already familiar with the program, if you go ahead and choose one of those prices. If you're not familiar with the program and you want to test it out, just go right here, click download it to computer, open it up, and it will look just like this right here. Okay, as you can see, it's unlicensed because I'm still in the testing phase for the software. Therefore, I've not bought it. Now, the positives of this is you're going to see because I'm going to demonstrate the software to you live. The positives is of this, it acts like a Facebook auto poster. Okay, now we all know that there's plenty of auto posters out there, but lots of them have a really big fee. More than just $39. And then there's others that have a monthly fee to them, unfortunately. And like I said, everything has a positive and a negative attribute, so you got to take the good with the bad sometimes. Okay. Now, with that being said, with this one, you have the ability to time it out because it's all about your keyboard and your mouse strokes and clicks. So you have the ability to pause between the posting in the groups as much as you want, whether you want a 1 second delay, a 10 second delay, a 10 minute, an hour, whatever the case may be. Okay, so that will help you because as we all know, Facebook likes to push you in Facebook jail, or the slammer as we like to call it sometimes, depending on how rapidly you're posting in the groups. Okay, if you're posting to a lot of groups in a very short amount of time, it sends off a flag to them and they'll ban you, for a couple of days or a month in some cases, or even permanently if you're a constant repeat offender that they have to keep pinning in the slammer for. Okay, now, the other thing about the software, it will allow, like I said, it's a recorder that records any and all keystrokes, any and all mouse clicks, okay, and movements. So, with that being said, you can do text as well as picture imaging, okay? Now, I won't go too far into the other program, but I will say the only negative attribute about the other, I call it a program, but the only other negative attribute about the second option I'm going to be showing you, the second method rather, is you can't do pictures. Okay, a lot of us when we post up ads, we like to do pictures and stuff. Unfortunately, the second method doesn't support the picture process, but it's still a good one nonetheless. So again, you're going to have three ways of doing this. You can choose the best one that works for you, and there you go. Okay, so once you go ahead and download and you get the program up and stuff, I'm gonna show you what to do in a minute. But before I do that, I want to show you this. Okay, some groups that you're in do not have a group cover. Like this one does not have a group cover. This is one I created some time ago for a program I was going to be in, and I just didn't do anything with the program. But unfortunately, Facebook does not give you an option to delete the group, or if it does, I've never found one. So on any account, If you're in a Facebook group that does not have a cover photo, it will look like this, where it will show the picture profile images of the members that are in the group. Okay. Now, the only negative attribute I can find about this one method with Macro Recorder is you would have to separate out the groups. Okay, you would have to separate out the groups that have a Facebook cover from the ones that do not have a Facebook group cover. Okay. Now the reason for that is because again it's recording everything you're doing. It's not going to care if you're scrolling up and down. That's that's one thing, but of course whatever you're recording in this one, and then when you set it to do the auto posting feature, it's going to do it exactly how your mouse is. So sometimes you're not going to be scrolling down. Sometimes you're going to go right here, and then you're going to go to the next one, and so on and so forth. Now again, you see how much in height that this one is, correct? Now pull up this next one and see the difference, because this one has a Facebook group cover. See the difference on how big these two are? That's what I'm saying, that you would have to separate out your groups before you post it into them. You would have to separate them out into tabs of ones that have a Facebook cover and the ones that do not have a Facebook group cover. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, that's not a big deal. Trust me, this account right here that I have has over 1,000 groups on it of all kinds. Okay, so let me tell you, I do have them because of the old method I've been doing, and I will still use, I'm sure, for quite some time. It has each kind of group, whether it's yard sales or work from home or whatever the case may be, it has them all broken down into text files. Okay, so I can post to these groups nice and easily and everything, but I don't have it broken down to which one has a Facebook group cover and which ones don't. Now the thing is, I could take probably the next 1 to 3 days and I could do that. But the only problem is, let's say that this is a group of mine, but let's say that this is a different group that I'm in, and let's say this has a Facebook group cover in it. Okay, but let's say a couple of days from now, or before I would post in the group again with the macro recorder, let's say that whoever's the admin or the owner of the group decided to take the Facebook group cover off and don't put it back on there, then that means that I'm going to open up my text file that has all the groups that have the Facebook group cover on it, and I'm going to put them all up in a tab, and I'm going to go run it. It's not going to post correctly into this group because the Facebook group cover is no longer on it. So I'm sure y'all see the point in it. Why I'm saying this method works. It's a great one. I'm going to show you in just a minute on how well it does work. But please believe me when I tell you that it will take some time and patience, above all, to be able to post into it using the macro recorder. Okay, so let's go ahead and I will show you real quickly on how this works. You bring this up. I'm going to minimize it. You bring this up and you click on record. And right now it's recording. Now I'm going to stop the recording. And as you can see, it did all this weird stuff. But I'm going to click on record again. And right now it's recording. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on add photo. I'm going to click on upload photos and video. I'm going to scroll to a photo that I want. I'm going to wait for that to upload. Now I type in some text. You can even put links in here. Sorry about that, my daughter came in here. So emailprobiz.com. Okay, and you can put a link in there as well. Then you click on post. And then it posts. Then you click Control F4 to close out this tab. And it'll switch over to the next tab. And then you hit stop recording. Okay? Now, you go over here to settings. Now, since I only have one more tab open, I'm going to first of all go to playback settings and hit replay just one time. But now let's say you have 30 of them on here, okay? Then you just go all the way up, go all the way up to number 30, and then it'll redo what you just did in that one group 30 times, okay? So then I'll come back all the way down to 1. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, and I do apologize, but when you first download the software, when you open it up, you want to click on settings and go to record keyboard and record mouse. Okay, make sure those two are checked, but I think they come pre-checked as well. Okay, then you click on OK, and then you click on play, and then watch. As you can see, the mouse is going right there. I'm clicking, and my hands are not moving at all. I'm not moving anything. It's clicking on upload photo and videos. It's going to scroll over here. It's doing the exact same process that I originally did. It's going to wait for it to upload. Again, remember, it's doing the exact same thing that I did. Okay? And then there's me typing, but I'm not typing at all. My hands are actually up in the air. I know you can't see them. And then it posting into that group. And then voila. And then it's going to do the control F4 function to close out that tab. And then there's my other thing. Okay, and then as you can see, it says up here that it stopped, and here's the other one. But of course, it's not going to post into this one because I had this one up just to show you the difference between the Facebook group um, cover cover things. Okay, now the great thing about this one, I'm going to leave this up, and I think there's a way to exit out of this, but I don't really see it. Okay, close. Never mind. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of the macros recorder. Okay, now here is the other one that I was telling you about that I'm going to show you in just a minute. Now, the other one is basically just using your normal everyday email program, okay? Whether that's Yahoo, Gmail, AOL, a business domain name email address like, GoDaddy.com, whatever the case may be, and it's going to be sending emails to the Facebook groups that are in the contact or the to field of your email address. Okay, now as I was mentioning, this method, which is the email method to posting into Facebook groups, the only negative thing about it is, well, the biggest negative thing about it is the fact that you can't do pictures. I've tried two different ways, it doesn't work. The guy I saw this method from on YouTube, he even said clearly that the method doesn't work, but it does text and it does hyperlinks, or like web links, like www.facebook.com type thing, or HTTP semicolon backslash or // www.facebook.com. Does things like that. Okay, so I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna show you this method in just a minute. But you're asking me probably, well, George, the email method sounds great, but is there any limitations to it? Yes, unfortunately there is. Now, I say that, but at the same time, I can't tell you exactly how many. Now, if you're using an email software program, for instance, like Gmail, the limit is 50 emails or 50 email addresses per email that you send out. That's their maximum limit, and you can only do 500 emails in a day. 500. You do any more than that, trust me when I say Gmail will lock your account up and you're not getting it back because he will lock you up as a spammer and you're done for. Okay, so it's 500 maximum a day, 50 maximum per email. Just keep that in mind. Okay, 500 maximum a day, 50 maximum per email. Okay, and I'll have that in the link. I'll have that in the description of the YouTube video on YouTube.com as well. Okay, now if you're using someone else like your own or Yahoo or whatever, contact or research for what their maximums are allowed, for, and the Facebook. I mean, not the Facebook, but to send out the emails, just so you don't go, past that or break it and go into jail with that email provider and stuff. Now, the other thing you're getting ready to ask me is, well, George, all this sounds great, and I don't mind just doing 50 or even less per email, and I'm definitely cool with 500 a day and things like that. But how do I find out the group's email address? Well, guys, I was saying the same thing myself, and I've actually seen them a couple of times. But then when I was researching the method, once I watched the guy's video, I was realizing the only time I've seen them is for the groups that I am an administrator in, okay, or the groups that I quote unquote own, as some people like to call it. Now, with that being said, if you're not an administrator, you're not going to know the group's email address. However, and that's what I thought, but however, the guy teaches you the method, and what the method is, all Facebook groups' email addresses are at groups.facebook.com. That's the part of the email address to always remember. At groups.facebook.com. Okay, and I'm going to have that in the video description as well. Now, how do you get the email address, period, is you come up here when you're in the Facebook group, you come up here to facebook.com and in the web URL, and after it says groups, everything from this forward slash everything from this forward slash down to the next one is the beginning part of the email address, whether it's numbers, periods, and numbers, letters or words and periods, or words and numbers, whatever the case may be. Whatever is between the first forward slash and the one preceding the next one, that is beginning part of your email address. Okay, so for instance, even if you have one. Like this is one group I'm in. It's called Instant Rewards Pays All Day. So it'd be Instant Rewards Pays All Day at groups.facebook.com. This one's going to be this long string of numbers at facebook.com. Okay. Now, as you can see, there's only two members in here. Again, this is the group I created that I no longer do anything with. So I'm going to use this as an example. I'm going to Control C to copy it, or I can right click and copy. I'm going to go to my email, which is Gmail. I'm going to click on Compose. I'm gonna copy that in. I mean, I copied it. I'm gonna paste it in. I apologize. And then I'm gonna put at groups.facebook.com, and then I'm gonna go down here. The guy was teaching the method about putting the content that you want in the Facebook post in the subject line, and then if you want any links or anything like that, you can put it in the body of the email. But I just put it all in the body of the email. Okay. Join me today for free. Okay. Now, once you have whatever you want in there, like I said, text, hyperlinks. Um, I'm gonna put one of my domain names in there that doesn't even go to anything. That way you'll be able to see what this does. Okay. Then you hit send. And as you can see, it's been sent. Now, it sometimes does take up to a minute for it to show up. So I'm going to pause this video, and then I'm going to come back right before I hit the refresh button on Google, not Google, on Chrome here, and let you see it live that this is working, okay? And let you see that I'm not really doing anything, okay? Okay, about a minute has passed. As you can see, I have not posted anything at all into this group. The only thing in here is from September 1st when this group was first created. I'm going to now hit F5 to refresh the page. When I tried this, I just found this method out the other day, and when I tried it out, it only took maybe a minute or two, so it should be alive in the group. So I'm going to refresh right now, F5. And there you go. As you can see, it says George Beal just now join me today for free, and has a web link right here. And all I did was send an email to this string of numbers right here. Like I said, everything after the first forward slash to the next one, whether it's letters, words, numbers, periods, whatever. Copy it all, put it in the email client, and then put at groups.facebook.com and send the email, whether it's one or, like I said, no more than 50 if you're using Gmail. And then within about a minute roughly, it will post, to the groups. And there you go. Now, I would try this out in small dosages if you want to try this method out. Just for the simple fact that um, I'm not totally sure because the guy didn't mention anything, and a lot of people on YouTube.com don't hardly ever reply to any questions you might have. So I'm not sure if if it wastes any amount of time if you're using more than one email address inside the email, or if if it sends it all at once and it might ban you or whatever. So maybe just try five at a time and see how all that works, and then slowly increase it by then. Now I do know that I have personally been in Facebook jail quite a few times. Well, not quite a few times, but maybe three times, four times most. And the times I've been in there is when I've posted to or try to post to like 150, 200 groups in a day. Okay. Generally, I'm okay with getting away with about 50 to 100 a day. You could try that or try less, whatever the case may be. Okay. Depending on what you're marketing and depending on what kind of groups you're posting in, you might even only get to 10 and be so flooded with messages you'll take you the rest of the day to catch up. And I've had that happen on a couple of different occasions as well. Okay, so it's just a give or take. It's just like anything else, it's all numbers. Okay, but that is the two options for you, ladies and gentlemen. The macro recorder, like I said, the macro recorder is a great way of doing it. Um, I personally wouldn't suggest maybe doing it unless you're going to be away from your computer because, as you could see, when I hit the play button, it just brought everything back up. So, I mean, unless you have, I would say maybe unless you have, two computer screens that are hooked up to the same computer, or you have a desktop and a laptop, then choose one for the Macros recording program to run, and then be on the other one for Facebooking or Craigslisting or whatever you're doing. Otherwise, just sit back and watch it do it, because otherwise you're not going to be able to do anything else while it's doing it, obviously. But I hope that helps. And then, like I said, I'll have the instructions in the YouTube video on how to do the email part of this. So therefore, you'll be able to get it and be going good. And then, like you can see, the domain name works, and there's a website that I'm still in the process of building. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have a good day. Thanks a lot for watching. Comment, subscribe. Have a good one.